Assalamualaikum. Today marks the first day of Ramadan, and I like to talk about a few things that I've learned throughout last night, which may be a short amount of time, but it was a deep delve into what my past was like and why things ended up the way that they did for me, and what my mindset was throughout the whole thing, and what my experiences were after it, and basically the big whys as to how I ended up here in the first place. Now, it's been a hard process. I have my notes with me. But it's been a hard process. I felt the need to self-destruct, or self-deconstruct, to fall back into the places where everything happened, everything started. And as far as I could remember, back when I was younger, when I saw parents fighting or my siblings fighting, or I saw failed marriages coming up in my family, or as my sister and my grandmother passed away, or my aunts that I truly loved passed away, and all these things that happened within relationships, things with me and my first love. And I did it to analyze what I missed. I did it to find out what was missing, to find out why I became the person that I am. And as I wrote here, it was filled with excuses, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't end up this way. If this doesn't happen, if that doesn't happen, I wouldn't end up the way that I am today. But it's so contradicting, It's no excuse for me to not be better. It's no excuse for me to not learn something from it, instead of use it as a scapegoat for me to hurt others. But it also begs the question as to why was it so easy for others to be forgiving and to move on, to become better? And my answer to that was that I chose to forget and distract and pile up all of my mistakes. I chose to put all these things aside and find it as an excuse and say that it was a lesson, but rather it was just more of a lesson for me to be like them. That if they can hurt, then I can hurt. If they can cause this amount of trauma in my life, then I can cause trauma to others. But I have no right. I have no right to cause pain to anyone. I am only human, and I am only human to others as well. But that doesn't mean that I have the power to cause hurt. I have the power or I have the right to cause pain. Now, as some of you may have noticed, I do have this savior mindset that, I can save someone, I can do this for someone, I can help someone here and help someone there. And it was all because I felt like no one could save me back then, with my issues, my family, and my high school life being quite lonely at the beginning. It felt like no one was there to save me, and no one was there to help me in any case. And I adopted this because I have this sentimental feeling to my own pain, because it is what shaped me. It is what shaped me. Though I took the wrong path into how it could have shaped me, it is what shaped me. It is what shaped and carved my choices into me. So when it comes to those things, when it comes to the idea of being sentimental to your own pain, I've realized that I was holding on to that pain because it was what was real. It was what was true at that time. It was what was true to me. I didn't think of the other person's perspective. I didn't think of the other person's, to put myself in their shoes at that moment where they caused me pain, because all I could say and all I could think was, they were lost. They were in pain and they caused me pain. They were lost. But that's not fair. Is that a fair explanation for me? Because I was lost? Maybe I was. I forgave myself for what happened between me and my first love. I admit that the process was horrible. I admit that I had a lot of regrets coming into it. I admit that in that process of forgiving myself, it was very painful. It didn't feel easy at first. It didn't feel lightweight. It didn't feel like, oh, finally, like I could let go. No, it was a lot. It was a lot. I cried a lot. I hurt myself, and as you know, as I was in pain, physically and mentally. As I was in pain, I gained sort of a clarity throughout the whole situation. She was lost and hurt as well. And all the pain that she shared with me, all the stories and whatnot, they weren't fake. They weren't, you know, they weren't unreal. They weren't excuses. They weren't reasons for her to hurt me, but I kept putting myself in her shoes. I kept putting myself throughout her situation as to why she did those things to me, or why she did those things to the previous person that she was in love with and whatnot. And it was almost to the point that I was her. It was almost to the point where it was so deep that I felt like I was her for a moment. And I saw the the pain that I instilled on myself. I saw how I begged. I saw how I was, and how I was crying and stuff like that. And I never felt sorry. I never felt sorry for myself throughout the whole situation, because in what I felt throughout that situation, it was like I needed to cause myself pain. I, as the opposing, the opposing party, needed to cause myself pain. It was strange to me. Like, why don't I feel sorry for myself? Because I put myself in that situation in the first place. It was never meant to be, something that I needed to go through. No one deserves to go through that. And she was not there to teach me a lesson. She was not there to do all of that. She was only there for a moment to show me what love is and stuff like that. And she got love from me as well. And as things went by, as time went by, it became I guess falling out of love is something that everyone can feel. And loyalty wasn't a big thing from her either, because of her parents, because of what her father was like, and what she had to go through watching her father and her mother, fight over simple things such as loyalty. And that pain, it never left. That pain of what I went through, it never left. And that's why I keep coming back to, oh, oh, are you gonna find someone new? Oh, I know you're going to leave me. Oh, I know it's all the same. You're gonna leave me and you're gonna find someone new. You're gonna leave me and you're gonna find someone new. So it's better if I do that first before you do it. But loyalty was never about staying with someone. Loyalty was about being faithful to someone. And faith is always blind. Faith is always blind. I felt the pain leave me. I felt the pain physically leave me. And I kind of almost miss it, because it was like it's been a part of me for so long that it feels like a piece of me is gone. But no, this wasn't something that was good for me. And I thank God for that. I thank God for that moment where I felt like I did it on my own. And it was such a good feeling to have finally done something for myself that I know I should have done a long time ago. It's like getting your first car. It's like getting your first kiss and stuff like that. It was really, really, really beautiful. And there's so much I want to talk about. There's so much I just wanna do right now. But I know it's gonna be even harder. These next steps are gonna be even harder. I'm taking it slow, I'm taking it nice and slow, taking my time. through all of this. It's a hard process. For Jay, I wish you well. I hope you're doing okay. And I'm glad to have been sharing this moment. Though I do wish I had a thought where I do wish you were there with me at that moment, where I thought that I needed you to be there for me. But as I walk through all of that side, as I walk through that painful memory lane, I felt like you were with me. I felt like you were with me. Your words of guidance before, your words of reassurance before, you were with me. Your strength will be with me. I have a lot to go through next. I have a lot to realize and reinspect, and I'm sure I'm gonna go through a lot more pain. A lot more pain. I'm sure of it. But the feeling of letting go, the feeling of letting all of these things that shaped me become something good instead of something bad is important, and I won't forget what is right and what is wrong within the situation, because I already know what is wrong. I already know what leads to a wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right either. So I'll have to go through this painstaking process of reanalyzing and reliving and finding out what I was missing and what was wrong with me and what was right with me, and hopefully I make it out alive. I know I will. Have to. If I don't make it out alive, then I won't be able to see you again. I really want to see you again. I really miss you. I just hope you're doing okay. And to anyone else that is watching, give yourself the space to go through every moment, every inch of pain, no matter how painful it can get. Don't speak bad things about yourself just because you did the wrong thing. Don't speak to yourself in such a vulgar manner, because remember, we are going through life for the first time as well. We are going through life in a process where we don't know all these things that are gonna come to us. We don't know, and we cannot predict the future. But I'm not asking you to live in the past. I'm only asking you to relive the past for a moment so that you can build a better future for yourself. When you make a mistake on a test paper or on a question in an exam, you realize that it was a mistake only later on. You don't realize that it was a mistake right then and there. Right then and there, you thought it was the right answer. You thought that it was the way to go. That's it. That was my answer. That is what is right. And you learn those things from the past mistakes that you've done as well. But as you realize your mistake, do you feel regret, or do you feel like you need to do better? Do you feel like you need to go back and chase that paper and erase it and make a new one, or do you forget about it? What is the better choice? Do you forget about it, or do you learn from it? You can't duck your past. You cannot escape your past. It will be a part of you always. But how do you put it, and how do you save it in your heart? How do you what memory do you have of it? What type of memory do you have of it? What type of lessons are you learning from it? Will those lessons cause you more harm, or will those lessons cause you happiness, make you feel happy? Even if it's not happy, even if it's not something that that could make you feel better, like abuse and stuff like that. Those mistakes, those things that have happened, those horrible things that could have happened to you, to anyone, what can you have learned from it? That's my question. So take the time to process it. Write it down, dude. Write it down, because as you nitpick these moments, as you remember, and as you try to piece the memories together, because I know what it's like to push these feelings back. It starts getting foggy. It starts getting like, oh, did this happen? Did this really happen? Why do I feel this way about this memory that I don't really remember? I know it gets foggy, but you'll have to dig deep. You have to dig deep. You have to find the the hidden truths in all of this, the things that you've missed out, you know, in your process. And it will be a returning process. It's not one and done, you know. I admit, yeah, I say that I forgive myself and all of this, but it's not one and done. I know that maybe in the next process that I'm gonna go through, I'll have to refer to this, you know. I'll have to refer to my first decision, my first mistakes, and if I've made a mistake here as well. You know, I never know. But what I do know is that this process is something that is it's gonna be exponential for me, and I have to make sure that it is exponential. It goes up, it goes down, as long as the trend line's going up, as long as the process is me going up and growing up from this. And yeah, it's a hard moment to relive, and it is a harder thing to do, to relive it. But for a moment, I could look myself in the mirror and say that I did something right, and I did something that I could be proud of, and that I should be proud of, because I know it wasn't easy. Find your steps to rebuild. Finding your steps to rebuild, finding your moments to rebuild is, oh man, I wish I could just let it all go, but it's not. It's not that simple. It's not that easy, because that is not the path in life that I want to take. I have made that decision, and I will stick by that decision until I've succeeded. And I hope you can too. So to all of you out there watching, to you, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are making your next steps in life. I hope that you have the strength to fight your struggles. And I pray that we all find ourselves in this beautiful moment of our life. We're never gonna get it back again. This moment that, you know, this 30 minutes that I'm spending, I'm never gonna get it back again. But was it worth it? I believe so. I love all of you. I love you. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the day. Assalamu alaikum.